The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Hey everyone, how's it going today? It's Friday again, and I am here. So welcome to Arting with the Alikat. Bear with me 1 second. I just got a text I have to answer. Okay, that is handled. I'd like to welcome you again to another episode of Arting with the Alikat, where we're going to be going over a bit of the Saturday AM submissions. So if anyone's interested in actually trying to get in on getting your manga published by Saturday AM, I'm going to go over a bit of it. I'm also going to show the piece I'm working on for submission, as they want an original piece. And, well, I'll plug my Patreon. Thunder the Cat. Thunder the Cat. Yes, well, that is Hobbs. He is my little pain in the ass. And he is the symbol of Alikat Comics. So if you notice my logo, it is inspired by him. He's cute, and he knows it. That being said, I'm going to run through this. So this is Saturday AM. And they do manga very similar to what they do in Japan, where they collect it in different magazines. So they have Saturday AM, Saturday PM, Saturday Brunch, and there's another one. Nope, that's it. All right, so Saturday AM is a shonen manga stuff. That's your Dragon Ball Z, your One Piece, Attack on Titan, that type of thing. Saturday PM is seinen anime. That'd be like your Berserk, that would be your Vagabond, that'd be your Blade of the Immortal. Basically more adult oriented. There'll be like potentially like more sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Saturday Brunch is josei. And josei is usually geared at adult women. Late teens to adult women, but they tend to be storylines that focus more on them. Can't think of the story off the top of my head that really says that. And then they have Saturday Afternoon, which is another shonen manga series. They also do publish tankobons for all of the, for some, I should say, some of the people. Like you have Sagami, Oblivion Rose, Hammer, Apple Black, and Titan King, all have tankobons. And tankobon, if anyone is curious, is basically one of these small collection of manga. This one happens to be One Punch Man. You're here from Peru. Well, that's pretty cool. I definitely support that. Glad to have you here. So that is basically what they do. And they are a global company. They don't just publish Japanese manga. So if you're a mangaka in any type of stretch or whatnot, they're great for it. And they're also on our earlier show today on the Region with Nita and Daphne. And they actually interviewed the founder, Frederick. I can't think of his last name off the top of my head, but his name's Frederick. He's a pretty cool dude. So I was excited to see that. And I was very happy to be in the audience with that. So yeah, so we have that stuff. We have the branding and what they do. I'll move that out. And just let's see. Stop that screen share. Present. There it is. Okay. And that's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay, so this is the manga that I am working on right now. I call it Haunted Rain. I haven't done a cover. I don't know when I'll do a cover, if ever. I just basically put it there so I can easily see it when I'm thumbing through my different works on my in Clip Studio. And I made a logo because it's always cool to make logos. This is the page I have so far and what I'll be working on today during the stream. I'm going to be texturing and toning more on this. And we will see how that goes. So that's the start there. But I want to run through, if anyone is interested, on what exactly is you have to do for the submissions. I actually linked the submissions in the chat already, along with my Patreon. And if you subscribe to my Patreon, you get my other manga, Prototype Zero, for joining. I will do installments basically as I get them done. I'm doing monthly installments on it, and usually it's about 10 to 20 pages is what I hope. I have multiple sclerosis, so aiming for what I can get done. But, it'll be a good amount no matter what. All right, so if you want to submit your pitch, one of the first things they ask is your pronoun, what pronouns you use. Then they want a web address for your online portfolio. Writing or art. They're actually taking writers this year, which is one of the first times they've ever done this. And the deadline for this whole thing is on April 28th. And yes, first year they're allowing writers. And they actually want the actual web address and don't send any type of profile that's private. They want the plot of your story, basically a paragraph, and this is a short story, so they want to know what that is. Let's see. And then they just go through the submit your pitch. You pick a genre for it, which you have a bunch of different choices, the usual type stuff: action, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, mecha, supernatural, romance, comedy, slice of life, and other. Then you just send the pitch in, and you have to submit as a writer, artist, or however you're doing it, with your legal name, your date of birth, because you have to be a minimum of 18 or over to pitch on this, and then you have to give your elevator pitch for the story. Their example is Batman meets Yu-Gi-Oh! Name of your country of residence, and then they go over what happens if you're selected, if you have comments or questions, and what is the name of the short story. So that is basically it. Oh god, it's Chad. Saying I'm a nerd. Takes one to know one, Chad, and you're the one who dresses up as a pickle. The fact I have to mention that you dress up as a pickle, that's just terrifying, and you got issues. But yeah, so if anyone's interested in trying to submit to an American manga studio, it's the way to go. So that being said, I'm working right now on Haunted Rain, and the basic premise behind it is this girl, cleverly named Rain, has suddenly awoken in the woods. Doesn't really know where she is, but she's barefoot, kind of beat up, and realizes about where she is and how she can get home. And then other hijinks will ensue. I need help. That's putting it mildly. Very mildly. Pickle. I stand by that latest bump you have with you and the rabbit and that's just terrifying. And I'm not playing it. I'm just not playing it. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, this is the basic page I'm working on right now. I have the start of this one going. I blocked out a silhouette already, and I kind of built the character over it. Um, and I knew I wanted a sound effect up here, so I knocked that in. And I'll be doing the rest out and doing backgrounds. So that will be fun. Let's just do a little bit of work. Now, one of the fun things I love about Clip Studio is it lets me do tones very, very easily, screen tones. So I can literally just kind of add them in as I go. And I don't have to use a razor blade to cut them out. If I want, I can also keep, if they go over in areas, I can kind of keep that there because it actually gives kind of the look of screen tones when they're not perfectly cut. So I do like that sometimes. Now, the statistics I'm basically doing on this, like one of the things they recommended for the submission also is if you're not in Japan or you're not Japanese, don't set your manga in Japan. You know, do it a place where you're really familiar with the culture and everything. I'm actually greatly inspired by a bunch of things from my own childhood. The myths and legend of the little town I grew up in. So that's what this is basing on. And it bases on the idea of missing kids. So it does have a darker tone to it that matters to people. That is basically the content warning that this piece will have, is that it does focus on kids that have gone missing. One of the reasons for that is when I was in junior high school, one of my classmates disappeared and unfortunately was murdered by her next door neighbor. It's kind of a way of me dealing with it. Now, the train car in the middle of the woods is actually something from my childhood that literally was like across the street from where I lived behind this, used to be a day camp. I think it was closed down when I was living in that area. I don't remember it being open. But if you went behind the place, there was like in the woods behind it, there was literally this old train car that was just sitting there. It's always kind of left this memory on me. So I'm putting that in. So pop that in. I'm basically going through and let's see here. Make a few adjustments on this. Actually, using a G10 for this. Picking up some of these lines a bit. Visenia, the amazing Visenia. Accept my friend request, please. Sunny, I have a question for you, actually. I follow you on Twitch. I like your stuff. I usually stream for 1 to 2 hours, and somewhere in between. It all depends on my multiple sclerosis and how it's affecting me. Last week, I barely made it an hour, and then I slept for 14 hours afterwards. So, yeah. But I like to go 1 to 2 hours, usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. Oh, I sent you a friend request on Facebook. I do most of my stuff on Facebook. But I had a question for you. Do you play Dungeons and Dragons? Mm-hmm. That is not what I'm going to do. I'm pretty new, but I play in campaigns now. Do you play with a Matt White? Sometimes he goes by Matthew for role positive gaming. Chad Perkins is very handsome. Well, Carlos definitely can appreciate that. But when he's dressed as a pickle, he's terrifying. Game later today? Matt is one of my oldest friends. His wife, Angela, is like a sister to me. So I was just curious about that. But I live about 20 minutes from their place. I actually lived with them for a while. So we all shared this apartment place in Norwood together for a while. It was kind of like a frat house. Yep, that's true. Actually, hang on a second. I'll see if I can get Angela to jump in and hang out in the chat. Where is it? Okay. Second Allison's combo, me being terrifying, but thank you. Oh, that's amazing. Fantastic. Yeah, I like your stuff. He was telling me that you like do like literally like comics of the games and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. And do I work with other writers or just my own stuff? I will work with writers. I have in the past. I was actually at one point planning on trying to do something with Chuck Paneu, my partner in crime, Peter Palmiotti, and well, myself. We were trying to put together a book. And then I also work with my bestie, Lori Calcaterra, on some things. And I'm actually consulting with her on some of the science of her current comic. She wanted to get the science right on it. So I thought that was fun. Let's see. One second. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Actually, it's really not that important. I won't worry about it. I had a little bit of a video, and of the series that we were going to work on together. Still streaming, just want to pop in because I heard Daphne mention your name so many times. Well, I appreciate it. I'm so happy you did as well. And I wish you luck tonight in Matt's game, and hopefully you won't get killed. So, but thank you for dropping by. I'm very happy you did. And I will get back to this. You're interested in doing work with me, Chad? More or less just curious. Definitely available to do covers and stuff like that. You're the best. Thank you very much, Ksenia. Possibly a full story, definitely a cover. Yeah, I think we're friends on Facebook or whatever. Just shoot me a message, whatever. I mean, I have no problem talking it out at some point. We can jump in on a conference thing, chat or whatever. Um, so yeah, I'd be more than happy to. More than happy to take a look. As long as you don't yell at me for 20 minutes about drawing in a manga style. Okay, so one of the things I'm doing with this, which a lot of people don't realize you can do when they think about it, is like you can do the screen tones. And basically, you set up a layer where you can just do them on, and basically paint them in. That's literally what I'm doing right now. Is I'm actually using the watercolor brush to so I can kind of get a gradiented look with the screen tones. If I had wanted to, also I could do like just that, and it's like a marker to me. But I actually prefer doing the. I like using the watercolor brush for it. In some areas, I'll just use a lasso tool and fill it in, or the selection tool and fill it in. Yeah, I figured we were friends on Facebook, so that would. Yeah, I would have been surprised if we weren't. I try to make sure I friended everybody in the network. This area here is a selection pen. Done. And then we can go and I can start to kind of add into it a bit. Something I was also thinking about doing was doing a little bit of a study of Yusuke Murata, who does the art on One Punch Man, for how he does his tones and textures, because it blows me away on doing it. Definitely an amazing mangaka. Yeah, I'm actually very excited for this RAM thing. I really hope that I can pull it off and get it. I think that would be sweet. Wrong one. That's it. That's not a bad. That one. Do I have Twitch? Yes, actually, I believe I'm streaming to Twitch right now as well. It's Alikat _comics is my Twitch stream. I tend to try to dual stream everything. Actually, I'll grab that real quick. That is my Twitch channel. Let's see. One Punch Man is really cool. Yeah, I agree. I find it interesting. It's a very interesting um, deconstruction of the superhero genre. And Itagaki is one of my favorites. I'm not familiar with her. I'll have to check that out. Um, fair. Hmm. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. That would be pretty cool. Actually, something I've been meaning to do is actually keep my stream open while I'm doing this. Let's see that. Okay, I'll put that on behind me. Oh, she did Beast Strike. Okay, I am familiar with that. Hmm. Let's see. Hmm. Actually, what I might start doing when I'm streaming is setting up my laptop next to me at the same time so I can kind of see everything that's going on. Because there's a lot of things with StreamYard that you don't see. So that's kind of would like to have my OBS running on another computer. I'm seeing everything. Hmm. Oh, well, there's one of my favorite people jumping in. The great Nita Lanning. Hmm. May I kiss people? No, Nita, you rock. Don't ever sell yourself short. You're a badass. Hmm. Hell, you gave me a home on the Indie Comics Network. How could I not sing your praises? Damn it. One of these days, I'm going to change the button on my stylus so it doesn't just auto hit the eyedropper because it drives me nuts sometimes when I eyedrop it. Hmm. See, Chad even has something nice to say, which I think is surprising. Hmm. And Viceni agrees. Hmm. 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 So Vicenia, I can see you're streaming now, and you said you were. Actually, are you still streaming, or did you stop? Um, Either way, what were you working on? Smoke and I know things. I think I've heard that someplace before, something like that. Now, if you hear any noise in the background, it's because I have an air conditioner on. And one of the fun things about multiple sclerosis is I'm very heat sensitive and it triggers my symptoms. So I'm literally parked right in front of my air conditioner. Doing sketches. Very cool. Vest streams are fun. Well, I guess that's a good thing if Vest approves of being stalked by you. I'm not one to throw stones. Some people are into that. I don't kink shame. Nita talks about her all the time. Yep. Well, I mean, I followed her on Twitch, and I have to say her art's really cool. And my friend Matt has shown me some of her art as well. And I am in the Roll Positive Discord server, so I have seen it there too, I believe. You want her soul. Well, I guess it's good to have goals. I don't think she's referring to me, so. Yes, ma'am. Kinky. Not saying. I don't kick you. Let's see. Come to Butthead. Right then. Yep, we're going there. The views and expression of the chat do not always coincide with the views and expressions of the host. Just saying. Let's see. But yeah, I actually did a bunch of world building for this too, so I really do hope they pick it up because otherwise I'm going to feel like it's a bit wasted. I'll have to use it for something else, but still, I get annoyed. Let's see. Okay. Answering Discord stuff. Alright then. That was weird. Right. Oh, I will be at Little Giant Comic Con up in Concord, New Hampshire tomorrow. Um, Mainly just hanging out with friends. I don't have a table there or anything because it sold out before I had the money to afford a table. But I will be hanging out there with friends if anybody is going out there. Most likely near my friend Ian's table. I'll probably be crashing near him. He usually gives me places to sit when I need it. So if anyone is there, Jim Starling's going to be there. So that should be kind of cool. I got a bunch of things I want to get him to sign. I believe there are some other people, but I just can't remember who they are. I can't remember my own name half the time. I apologize if this seems boring at all, but I really love doing screen times. So. Where is it? Yep, that was Randy. Okay. Does anybody have any plans for the weekend? Looking for fun things to do? I'm assuming Chad is dressing up like a pickle at some point this weekend. This one pretty good. Also placed in the order for the Sparkle Dog books. Oh, fantastic. And you are dressing up as the pickle. Damn. Yeah, it's just worrisome. Yep. Do not resist the pickle. Oh, I can. If anyone is curious to what magnificent brushes I'm using, Kyle's brushes from Photoshop that I imported into Clip Studio. Because Kyle's brushes are amazing. Right now I'm using his watercolor detail brush. think anybody who really uses Photoshop probably knows of Kyle's brushes. So, Chad Perkins is the pickle man. I don't think that's something that really we want advertised. I mean, just saying, kind of, yeah. There's a question I really want to ask about that, but I'm just not going to. Because there are some things that I was just not meant to know. That question is one of them. The answer to that question is definitely one of them. So, I'll not be asking that question of Chad. Because I feel that I will go far more insane than I already am. It'd be like looking at a Lovecraftian horror directly. I could do more cleanup on some of these inks. Let's see. I'm known for doing some fairly dark stuff for comic wise and other such things, but this is probably one of my darker stories. The genre I place as supernatural. Um, it's urban fantasy would have been a better choice, but they didn't have that, so. They have fantasy, but usually when somebody selects fantasy, they think elves and dwarves and stuff, and I didn't really want that impression. Or my last Sentinel piece, which is more of a more traditional fantasy, so I didn't want it to be confused with something like that as well. Prototype Zero, I'd probably submit as science fiction, but it's more space opera. There's more of that. It takes more from things like Flash Gordon and Star Wars than it would be doing a Doris Dream of Electric Sheep or We Dream Your Dreams for You. Like, Hmm. All right. The brush I'm actually using right now is the G Prime brush that comes with Clip Studio. So, even using the real G Pen, which from what I was looking at the two of them, the main difference is the fact that this has kind of a grain to it, where the other G Pen is very, very smooth, and I like the grain. It's textured. Hmm. Okay. There. And kind of does have a good set of brushes for manga too. I actually use them to do the line art, but I kind of wanted to play with the G Pen tool on Clip Studio with this because a lot of people really like it, and it's really not that bad. When I first got Clip Studio, I used it pretty much exclusively, but moved away from it and went kind of brush crazy, which I'm known to do with art programs. Hmm. I also like the sound effect I gave her for her headache, this crick crick sound, because I don't really think you really think of that sound when associated with a headache, so I thought it'd be interesting to do something like that. Because usually it's more like a thumping sound, or kind of feel, but this I just thought it'd be interesting to have it a little bit different. Oh, it's like a moire pattern going on there. Hmm. That's proper size and there. Hmm. Coming up to the book of the week, which I want to talk about, which I'm going to be talking about soon, and some other things I'm planning on doing in the future with my channel and the Indie Comics Network channel to give more content. Something a few friends of mine have been telling me that I should do for a bit, so we'll discuss it a little bit. Still seeing Chad Perkins is the pickle man. That's just worrisome. Just saying, that's just wrong. What can I say? I'm a pickle. Yep, you're a pickle. I really don't want to know what you're doing in your bedroom right now. Yeah, that's just. I have another question I want to ask Chad now, and I definitely don't want to know the answer to it, so I'm just not gonna go there. Mostly sleep in the bedroom. Okay, that's good at least. That is good. And whatever else you're doing, never mind. I think that's going to be an ongoing joke for me is having to think about the pickle Chad, not pickle Rick, pickle Chad. Not sure which is worse. Pickle Chad is worse. I must know these questions. No, because then you might tell me the answers, and I don't want to know those. And my usual answer of for science I must know is not going to happen this time. Just no. Oh no, that's what worries me is you will answer them. That definitely worries me. Okay. Bigger brush for this. Stay weird, people. I have a date with an angel. I see. Okay. I'm going to do my book of the week in a minute. Pull list. C is hardly needed. I don't think staying weird with this group is difficult. Just having some thoughts on that, especially when we have a guy who dresses up as a pig. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see where we got. I think that's coming along pretty good. I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's save this. Okay, what was I planning on doing? Right. We have. It's time for the pull list. And we're going to go over some fun books. first. All right, so today we're going to be talking about one of my biggest influences, um, Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira. And this is the 35th anniversary box set edition of it. It is impressive, especially if you get it. It is a 6-volume set that has all of the manga in it, along with the anime, the Akira Club book, which is basically an art book. So it has seven books in it as total. When it came out, it sold for about $150. And so is the piece here. It's a very nice hardcover. And one of the cool things about this is it's actually done in the traditional manga way of right to left. I believe it is the first published piece that has been done right to left. Just some incredible artwork. This is also, I believe, the first time it has been published in English, where it has been restored to its original black and white. Like most manga, when it was published, they usually have a couple of pages of color, which this does have in it. Basically, everything blowing up in Tokyo. And the beginnings of World War III. You get the amazing shot of Neo Tokyo. And we return to black and white. Now, if you haven't read the manga, it is considerably different from the movie. Characters that are in the movie for maybe like a second or two actually have larger roles in the mangas. And the Tetsuo story, which is the first arc, basically, is basically this book. And it's very different. The clown biker gang is a lot different. The what the characters go through in a lot of ways is a lot different. The kids get a bit more attention. The creepy psychic kids. Yeah, basically, there's a lot more to it than what you see in the movie. So, a lot of people get confused by the movie because it really doesn't. Its ending is beautiful, but what? That's kind of the feeling. The other cool thing about this is it restores Otomo's original sound effects, which were all changed in the epic version of it. But just those details are I just love it. And that's kind of basically what I'm trying to do with my manga stuff, is give these like really detailed, realistic backgrounds and things, and then do the characters are much more simplistic looking. Some great action sequences. Let's jump ahead of it. You can get Kaneda on the motorcycle. Tetsuo kills Clown. clowns in this are very different. I mean, they're still a biker gang, but like Tetsuo like takes over and stuff. And spoilers for a manga that came out in 1982. And then you have the scene in the sewers is very similar in the anime as it is in the comic. So the end of the first arc mainly focuses on Akira coming back. Which I don't think he technically comes back in the first part, but the next part focuses on Akira. Onasara. Onasara. Sounds good. Not sure what that means. Let me get some other kind of cool action sequences. But that is Akira. That's volume 1. I'm actually in the process of rereading all of Akira. Good afternoon. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, I see. Good afternoon to you as well. I'm in the process of rereading all of Akira for a project that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a kind of an analyzing the manga, the original epic manga that came out over here, which is all in color. I'm going to be doing a breakdown of that and the anime, and doing a video kind of examining the differences between them all, and kind of going into it and doing kind of a breakdown in a lot of ways. Like, I have several friends who've wanted me to like go over movies and television shows about how filming methods are done and what directors and writers are trying to get you to see in the movie or the TV show. Like, a friend of mine was just like, okay, what's all the crazy stuff that happened in The Last of Us? And I break down like things like, oh, well, this scene is a reference to Citizen Kane. This scene is they're trying to reference this play at the end about a boy dying, about characters dying, committing suicide because they were depressed and gay. There was the opening to the final episode, the cold open with the opening credits, to then how it leads into the first scene after the credits, changes the entire thought of the intro, so, stuff like that. The Rita Key is definitely not going to be by choice. That shit's way too pricey. Yeah, it's expensive. As I said, it is an expensive box set. It's one of my prized treasures of manga. I love this collection. I have one other one which I'll also be doing a breakdown on, which is I have all of Battle Angel. So when I finish Akira, I'll do Battle Angel, and I'll analyze both the original translations of the manga, the current ones, and the movie and the anime of it. So I'll be going into all of that. That being said, though, I think I am going to call it here for the day. I have a couple other things I have to do, and I got a text message that I have somebody who needs to talk to me. So I got to make a couple of phone calls. That being said, I will see you all next week at the same Alikat time, same Alikat channel. Peace out as well. Let's see, and get an outro here. And if anybody could, please support me on Patreon. I did link in there. You'll get access to Prototype 0 for joining, and all the updates associated with it. But thank you very much, everyone, and have a great and wonderful day. Goodbye.